What's that mean? Helping others prevail every day.
Yeah. Bringing the HOPE, yeah, that's what it be for everybody. It's the only way, helping others prevail every day. With Jan Tate by your side, you know she always down to ride. And she's certified, she help you glide so you can set to the sky, no matter how high. Cause she not just a life coach, she the whole coach. And she help you steady it in on the approach. And she always keep it 100 with inspiration, motivation, and encouragement. That means real life solutions for real life challenges. So if you stumble, she gonna help you balance it. Cause it's never okay to abandon ship, especially with a mother-daughter relationship or anything that you need help with the words to say. So schedule your free session today.
She bringing hope, bringing hope, bringing hope. Yeah, that's every day. Cause when there's hope, when there's hope, when there's hope, it's gonna be okay. Yeah, she bringing hope, bringing hope, bringing hope. Yeah, that's every day. When Tan Tate by your side, you got more than what it takes.
Hello, 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 everybody. Happy Friday. Normally, Hope to Cope airs on Wednesdays, but this has been a week. But I refuse to let the week get the best of me. So I said, you know what? Today is Friday. We could use a dose of hope any day, every day. So listen, here I am today, dealing with the health challenge, dealing probably with emotional and mental things today. But I remembered who I am and I said, you know what, girl, get in the game. So, of course, you know, I'm Tan Tate. I'm a certified life coach. I'm the Hope Coach. And HOPE is an acronym for helping others prevail every day. That's what we want to do. We want to see you prevail every day. So I want to welcome you wherever you're watching from. If you're watching from YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, hello, hello, hello. Gonna ask you to spread and share the hope. So go ahead, give me a heart, give me a like, give me a subscription, share the hope, share the love, whatever you do, be a part of helping others prevail every day. In this week's episode, we're going to talk about why hope is power. And I like to take this platform, this opportunity, to give you a little bit more about my history, my journey, how I got here. So I'm going to start today with a segment of my journey, my story. When my daughter was killed, I happened to be in the hospital um, prior to her being killed, which I believe is just all a part of how God covered me during that time. So I was in the hospital, got the news in the hospital, had to make the arrangements from the hospital because I was pretty much in the hospital all the way up until the day of her services. So I'll talk about that part a little later in another episode. But today I want to talk to you about this particular incident that I remembered. On the morning of my daughter's services, we had to have her funeral on a Monday. And um, during this time, my mom was still alive, and I had gotten home from the hospital either, I think it was that Saturday or it might have been that Friday. I'm really not sure, because we had to have a private viewing for the family to make the decision whether or not we were going to be able to show my daughter's remains at the funeral. So I think I came home that Friday or that Saturday. But that Sunday, after we left the viewing, I decided that that night I was going to sleep downstairs next to my mom. So I made a pallet on the floor, and that's that night, and that's where I slept leading into that Monday morning for the celebration services. When I woke up that morning, I remember just waking up crying I remember just waking up crying and crying and crying because I knew the journey that was ahead of me. And I remember my mom just simply saying, I know, I know. And she just began to pray for me. She began to pray over me and for me. And I know that that is what got me to the point where I could get up and do what needed to be done um, for my daughter's celebration services. So I want to just encourage you today that if your mom is still here or if your mom is no longer here, make sure you have somebody who's praying over you, who's covering you in prayer, because that is so instrumental in whatever journey you may be facing. I was dealing with the death of my daughter. I was dealing with grief, sadness. I was mourning, and my mom stood in the gap for me and just covered me in prayer. She allowed me to cry, whatever it was I was going through. And I'm just telling you, I laid there probably crying and crying and crying, but I could hear her praying, just calling on God to help me, pleading the blood of Jesus over me. So it's important in your journey in life that you have people who cover you in prayer, cover you in prayer, and which kind of takes me fast forward to today. So last night I had a dream about my daughter, and in the dream I can't remember what took place. All I can remember is her smile. And if anybody ever knew my daughter, she had a beautiful smile. She had a smile that could light up the room. So I just remembered the smile. So when I woke up this morning, yes, there was a spirit of heaviness that was upon me. The tears were upon the pillow. Now, my journey will be 13 years this year since my daughter was killed. But sometimes it seems like it's right now. Right now, I'm in that moment. And so I laid there in the bed and I remembered the power of prayer. So I called my husband. Remember, it's important to have somebody to be praying for you. So I called my husband, the wonderful Mr. Tate, and I just said, miss prayer this morning because he let me sleep before he left for work this morning. I said, just calling you so that we can pray. And so he prayed over me, and that energized me. It gave me the fuel that I needed to get past that moment that had came up. So sometimes in life, things show up unexpectedly. That thing. And for me, that thing was grief. For you, it could be depression. It could be sadness. It could be loneliness. It could be emptiness. It could be a variety of things that that thing is. So I want to encourage you today in whatever that thing is that you may be facing. Begin to speak life over yourself, to yourself. Because in addition to the prayer, I begin to say, the joy of the Lord is my strength. The joy of the Lord is my strength. Oftentimes people say, man, you're just so strong. I admire your strength. But I am reminded that it is the joy of the Lord that is my strength. In other words, I can't be who I am without being who I am in Christ. So if you're facing a thing today, whatever your thing may be a broken heart. You may have been laid off your job. It could be the end of a friendship. It could be, no more money in the bank. Whatever your thing is, I want you to know that the joy of the Lord is your strength. Begin to confess that. The joy of the Lord is my strength. The joy of the Lord is my strength. And know and believe what you're confessing is the truth. And watch strength begin to show up and you're able to get past that moment, because that's what happened for me today. And I know if God did it for me, he'll do it for you. Listen, whatever your thing is, I know that life has a way of throwing us curves, and it's not always easy. It's not always enjoyable. But what is true, what never changes, is that the joy of the Lord is your strength. Sometimes that's all we can say is the joy of the Lord is my strength. Listen, just because my daughter died, that don't mean I stopped loving her. I'm forever her mom. She is forever my daughter. And it was easy. Another trick. It was easy when I had that dream and I woke up and I was feeling the way that I was feeling. Grief had a way of trying to talk to me, y'all. Grief was trying to trick me today. Grief began to say, see, you'll never know what it's like to be the mother of the bride. You'll never know what it's like, what it would have been like for your daughter to have children. She was your ride or die. You doing all this stuff, and now she not even here. So look what you missing out on. Look what you missing out on. That thing, whatever your thing is, remember for me it was grief. But whatever your thing is, it sometimes has a way of showing you what it thinks you've missed out on. That's when your confessions kick in. I began to talk to that thing. I didn't entertain it, but I let it know it had to go. I was like, look here, grief. You trying to tell me all the things that I missed out on. Let me tell you all the things that I got to partake in. I remember the road trip we took here. I remember this. I remember that. So immediately, where sorrow might have set in, good memories and good times began to come to my memories. And I began to talk to that grief situation, be like, you can't stay here today. You got to go. You're not welcomed. I know you're knocking at the door, but listen, here's how I'm going to greet you. So, I greeted that thing, which for me today was grief. I greeted it with the joy of the Lord is my strength. I greeted it with prayer. And then I greeted it with positive affirmations, positive facts that took place in my life. So instead of me having a sorrowful moment, I was able to remember good memories of my daughter. I was able to embrace the moment and make it work for me. So, whatever you're facing, whatever your thing is, depression, anxiety, stress, sadness, loneliness, regretfulness, unforgiveness, whatever that thing is, listen, meet that thing right where it's at. Let it know that it's not welcome. Begin to make the confession the joy of the Lord is your strength. Prayer, and it has to go. Because look at me, I'm here right now. I would have never thought when my day started that I was going to be doing this impromptu, doing this. But I remembered, we all need hope. And if I'm the hope coach, and just because I'm the hope coach, don't mean that I'm still not human. But it does mean I got to walk in my purpose. It does mean I have to live who God created me to be. So I dealt with that thing and I said, look, let me go and get back in the game of who I know that I am. So, right where you're at, however you're feeling, I'm encouraging you to find the strength because the joy of the Lord is your strength. And know that you can still do whatever it is you were purpose created to do. It's not too late for you. You got more time ahead of you than what's behind you. So get those dreams off the shelf, dust them off. We're still dealing with the pandemic. Last year, a whole year, 365 days or so, we were quarantined. We were dealing with different things. So some people feel like, man, I lost a year. No, you didn't. You have not lost anything because God is a God of restoration. And then he can do it God's speed. So you haven't lost anything. We always come and talk about getting vaccinated. You know, people right now getting vaccinated to for the coronavirus, but we want to be we want to be your hope shot. Get your dose of hope today to get you through the next time you may need a dose. Okay? So that's why I want to tell you why hope is power. I want to give you some quick tips on things that you need to know and implement why hope is power. And again, wherever you're watching from, hello. If it's from YouTube, you know, I'm new to the YouTube family, but hello. I think Trina, I'm not sure if you're still there, Tashika, and Capri. Hey, Capri. Hello to my YouTube family. Hello to Facebook. Cherry. Hello, girl. It's been a minute since I saw you. Since we talked, we need to catch up. Hello. So here's why hope is power, whatever you're facing today. Because number one, it plants a seed. And you know that hope, it's a feeling, an expectation of seeing something happen, something good to happen. So hope plants that seed that's needed to see whatever you're expecting. If you're expecting to get the job, you're expecting to be healed, you're expecting to finally conceive and have that baby, you're expecting to begin your own business. Hope plants the seed. Whatever that hope is, whatever it is that you hope to do, it all starts with hope. That's why hope is powerful, because we know anytime we plant a seed, 9 times out of 10, it's going to grow. So hope is a seed. You can simply enhance your journey in life by having hope. And hope doesn't always look like the same thing to everybody. Sometimes it's going to be different for you than it was somebody else. But hope plants the seed. The way you think is a seed. How you see things is a seed. Praying is a seed. Praise and worship is a seed. The words that you speak out of your mouth is a seed. And notice, whatever you're saying and speaking, 9 times out of 10, you see that. You know, sometimes, you know, we curse our children and we say, you're going to be just like your dad. You're going to be just like your mom. And as time goes on, because we've said that, we've planted that seed, we've nurtured it, sometimes our children begin to show characteristics and behaviors of their parents. So it's important what you do with what you say. It's powerful. Hope plants a seed. And in order for hope to really do what it's supposed to do, you need to be honest. Excuse me. You need to be honest. You need to be honest with yourself, honest with the situation. You know what? Yes, the last time I didn't get it right. But here's what I've learned from the last decision that I made. Let me be honest with myself. I didn't take the advice that I saw, and I got this result. So this time around, I'm going to do things differently. So remember, hope, you want to plant a seed. Hope, you want to be honest. And I'm not talking about honest about whatever that situation may have been. I'm talking about being honest with what you want to see happen. Honest with what you did to cause whatever happened to happen. You want to be honest about it. You want to take responsibility and ownership. You want to be honest about it. So, planting a seed and being honest. Also, when you have hope, hope is a can-do spirit. It helps you maintain that can-do spirit about whatever it is you're facing. For me, in the darkest of my life, and I will tell you that I've lost siblings. Both my parents have passed away, but nothing was like when my daughter left this place. I've gone through a divorce, um, gone through domestic violence, all of those things, but nothing was like when my daughter left this place. So you may be in some of your darkest moments right now, so you think. I want to encourage you to know that hope will be a light in the darkness. Hope will have you seeing what the doctor said, totally different because of what God said. Hope will allow you to endure the supernatural favor of God. Hope is power. People can take away many things from you, from me, but they cannot take away hope. They cannot take away hope. And your hope is power. It is power. So, whatever you may be facing with, whatever you may be dealing with today, I'm encouraging you to activate your hope. If you don't know how to activate your hope, there's a link in this broadcast. Click that link so we can get your hope activated because hope is power. The joy of the Lord is your strength. Yes, we deal with emotions because we're humans. We deal with mental um, things because we are human. But I'm here to encourage you through that emotional, that mental, that physical, that spiritual, whatever it is, we have a source, and that is God. And He never changes, He remains the same. I thought the death of my daughter was going to kill me, and it almost did. I never thought that I could recover from that. But here I am, whole, well, healed, hopeful, moving forward. Hope did that for me, and it will do it for you. Hope. I know what it feels like to be hopeless. Seem like everything you do, something negative is the return. I'm here to tell you some of the greatest triumphs came out of tragedies. Some of the greatest victories came out of what we thought would be the greatest loss. You, you, I'm talking to you and you and you. You are not alone. What you're going through is not the end. It is not the end of your story. There is so much purpose connected to you, things that only you can do. I get it. Sometimes we get off track. Sometimes we miss it. But hope is power. And all you need is a little bit. You don't have to start off with this big deposit of hope. All you need is just a little bit. Watching this should be just a little deposit of hope into your life today. I'm sorry, I was just reading the comments. Okay, so so I'm just gonna say, Capri, that may be the diagnosis, but that's not the end. That is not the end. We're gonna be praying for her. So that's one thing, sometimes the doctors They do give us diagnosis and they can tell us what's going on. So I'm just reading in the comments from YouTube. And one of Capri, which is a good friend of mine, is saying that her partner has been diagnosed with cancer. So if you're a prayer warrior out there, Tashika, if you're still watching, I know you are a prayer warrior. We want to be lifting her up. We're going to activate global hope on her behalf. So that she's going to get a biopsy. Okay, so we're going to be expecting, and remember, hope is about what you're expecting. So we're going to be expecting the good news from the biopsy. And this is how you activate hope. So sometimes we'll get into, the doctor give us their diagnosis and we begin to repeat what the doctor said. Well, now is the time, Capri, for you guys to activate your hope language. And your hope language is what you're expecting, the results you want to see happen. So you want to begin to speak in hope. You want to become fluent in hope. Let your language and what you speak line up with what you're expecting God to do. And we expect the good news, Jesus Christ, to show up. We're expecting a good report. And for anybody that's out there, you may be going through something. Hey, Ashley, I see you. Anybody out there who may be going through something, you may have gotten the diagnosis that may seem to be terminal. I want you to know that even in that terminalness, there is still hope, and hope is power. Hope is power. Remember, it plants a seed. It plants a seed. It produces the I can do spirit. And we can do all things through Jesus Christ who strengthens us. That is impossible with man is impossible with God. And I see your comments, Capri. You said first they said it was lung cancer, and it's not. So, I mean, and they're practicing, but we know what the word says. By his stripes, we were healed, past tense. So whatever you're dealing with, physically, mentally, emotionally, I'm here today to tell you that you were healed. I always encourage you to get the help that you need. Remember, if you need help activating your hope, I'm the Hope Coach, Certified Life Coach. Click the link, and I have other resources available to you to help you get what you need. Hope is powerful. Just doing this has helped me feel so much better. Sometimes you have to do things afraid. You got to do things when you don't feel like doing it. You got to do things when it's uncomfortable. Because success happens outside of your comfort zone. So yes, it was comfortable for me to just say, well, I missed Wednesday. I'll just pick up next week. But we need hope every day. We need a deposit of hope. HOPE is an acronym for helping others prevail every day. Out of the greatest tragedy of my life, I triumphed. I do hope huddles, it's 60 seconds of hope. I do those pretty much every day. And the last one or a couple of ones ago talked about the letter P, the power of the letter P. So what you're going through, yes, it may be painful. It may be causing you pain, but I want to remind you that there is promise connected to the pain. And because of the promises of God, you will discover purpose. And because there is purpose, you will prevail. It's already written that way. It's already written. He tells us in Jeremiah 29:11 that he has a plan for us, an expected end. He knows the thoughts and plans that he has for us. So what you're going through, what you're dealing with, sure, it's designed for you not to fulfill your God-given purpose. But I'm here to tell you that you will prevail. There is promise. Yes, the marriage may have ended, but that don't mean that you will be marriage-less. You know, I remember being devastated when I was divorced. Had no idea that I was being set up for the real Boaz. I can't remember the game show, and I may be telling my age here, but I don't mind telling my age, you guys. I'll be 56 come May. But I remember, and I can't think of the name, but it was will the real somebody please stand up? So there was a panelist of 3 people, and then there were questions. The people on the panel, they were there to try to trick you into thinking someone else was the real whomever it was. And that's how these different situations in life do. They show up to try to trick you to believe that they the real deal. But I'm here to tell you that your real purpose, it will show up. So don't be caught off guard by the last challenge that you had, the last trial that you faced. Don't think that God has forgotten you. Don't think that God has forsaken you. Don't think, woe is me. I'm here to encourage you to ignite and activate your hope, because hope is where it all begins. Even over in Hebrews 11:1, talk about how now faith is the evidence of things that were hoped for. Hoped, past tense. So it all begins with hope. Right where you're at, whatever you're facing, you just need to show up. Show up. Show up and watch everything else begin to line in place. The death of my daughter thought it was going to take me out of here. Thought it would steal me from my purpose. And every once in a while, its partner, grief, shows up and try to get me off my game. But then my super hope powers kick in. And I put on my cape of hope. And I'm ready and equal and greater to whatever it is that needs to be faced. Is it easy? No. But is it possible? Yes. I'm here today after having a challenging moment. So whatever you're facing, whatever you're going through, I just want to assure you, encourage you to know that that's not the end. You may be 75, you may be 80, you may be dealing with an ailment in your body that, medical science is saying, this is the end. But I'm here to tell you that God is a God of restoration. He can restore, he can refresh, he can renew, he can do whatever. You just got to be in position. I'm still stuck on that P. You got to be in position to get what you need. It requires you doing something. It requires you doing something. But whatever you do, God is going to meet you and he's going to carry you to the next level. He did it for me. He did it for me. He'll do it for you. Thank you so much. Bishop Landry, I don't know if you're still here. Y'all, that's my lifelong teacher. He was my youth pastor, my pastor. He's everything. If ever there was a man rooted in God, Bishop Landry is. Thank you. Okay, Nita, I see you. I hope you're going to be doing your live. So let me just recap this session of Hope to Cope. I want to encourage you to know that hope is power. It plants a seed. Be honest. Hope is about honesty. And when we're honest, it can show up and do what it needs to do. And it also ignites that can do spirit. So, having said that, make sure you have a hope squad. People you can go to when you're running low on hope. You can pull in and get refilled. Make sure the people around you have a hope language so that they can encourage you and lift you up. And again, if you don't know where to start, your hope needs to be activated. Click the link in this description. I'm so grateful for everybody who showed up today. Hope, for this Hope Coach, is helping others prevail every day. Thank you so much for tuning in. And we always close with, remember, and this is a part of my daughter's legacy, all your days are good. All your days are good. Some are just better. So if you find yourself having a challenging day and somebody may ask you how your day going, just say, better days are coming. Because sometimes we get stuck, man, I'm having a bad day. It's a bad day. It's a bad day. No, your hope language, all your days are good. Some are just better. And today I remember waking up and saying to God, Lord, I need a better day. I need a better day. Because I miss my baby. That was my baby. But I have hope. So remember, prayer is so vital. So make sure you got somebody covering you in prayer. Even if you have to do it yourself, prayer is the key. Another P word. Thank you, everybody, for joining so much. Remember to share, spread the hope over on YouTube. Please like and subscribe. You know, I'm still learning all this. And to my Twitter family, hello, I see you. Thank you so much, everybody. And you guys have a hope-filled day. Until the next time, remember, this has been an episode of Hope to Cope.
Hope. What's that mean? Helping others prevail every day.
Yeah. Bringing the HOPE. Yeah, that's what it be for everybody.